Now, a loan scheme to maximise the opportunity for young entrepreneurs has been launched today in Britain. Over £82 million is being made available to encourage business start-ups amongst school leavers and university graduates. Youth unemployment in Britain has topped the 1 million mark, a record high. Joining us for more is James Kahn, Chairman of the StartUp Loans Fund, and also with us Andrew Sentence, former member of the Bank of England's Monetary Policy Committee, currently Senior Economic Advisor at PwC. Andrew, with us for the rest of the programme. Good to see you. Welcome, Andrew. And James, nice to see you back.
Good morning.
I've
missed you, Ross.
Well, I've missed you too, and it's nice that you've come on here with some cash.
Absolutely.
Available. Now, it's not a huge amount in the scheme of things, 82 million, but how far can you make that work? And what's the idea of this plan? How does it run?
Okay, Ross, what we've got is right now, as you say, we've got nearly 1 million people out of work right now, which are young people and people who've graduated from university. So what you've got is some young budding entrepreneurs out there who've got ideas but don't have capital. I think your programme and the media has been really emphasising lack of capital out there. So what I'm doing is really targeting those young people who want to start a small business and get something off the ground. This is not development capital for people who already have a business. This is somebody who wants to set up maybe a fashion business, an online business, or something where they want to get up and running. Like it could be an online business. The target loan size is going to be £2,500.
Is that maximum, or is that
between
the sort of
£2,500 and £5,000?
Right.
So I think the average will be £2,500. What makes this scheme quite unique is with the loan we're going to provide a mentor, which I think is the big thing I learned in Dragon's Den. When people came on the show, not only did they want money, but they wanted that help, that support. So StartUp Loans as a company essentially will work with partners who will go out and find these young people, identify their need, analyse the opportunity, provide a mentor, and then provide the capital that will help these people start their businesses.
Are you partnering with banks, or are you providing capital directly?
We're going to partner with banks as well as providing capital directly, and then we'll have distribution partners. These are existing organisations who work with young people who will be able to access some of the people that we want. When you work out from £82 million, if the average loan size was £2,500, that gives us the opportunity probably of helping nearly 75,000 people.
Well, the reason I ask too is this, because I think I was just reading through here the terms. It looks like you're going to be offering the loans at a rate of RPI plus 3%.
Correct.
So what's that, 5–6%, say roughly these days, maybe even a little bit more?
It comes out to about £70 a year, which is the interest, which is kind of just under £10 a month.
But look, that's an attractive rate for a bank to be making a loan at. So why aren't banks doing this? Why do you feel like there is this need to step up and provide this yourself?
I mean, I think because right now the banks don't have the liquidity. Banks, as we all know, have got their own issues right now. Their balance sheets are shot to pieces. They're not in a very liquid position right now, and I think this is probably too small for them.
Yeah, it is on a different scale. But let's bring Andrew in on sort of the credit. I mean, QE doesn't appear to sort of feed through into greater credit creation. I mean, we've got a ton of regulation, Andrew, coming in. But I wonder whether there are more creative ways that we could introduce policy to clear maybe. I mean, Fathom Consulting have this plan where you would use a form of QE to set up a bad bank and issue debt on that and to clear the bank's balance sheets.
I think we should keep this type of initiative on a different category from QE. QE is there to help stabilise the monetary system, but it's not really meant to be dealing with.
I was going to separate it, but I was actually thinking even further up the scale.
But this type of initiative that James is talking about, I think is an excellent example of a supply side type initiative, which will help on the supply side of the economy, on the business formation in terms of new business startups, helping businesses grow. And I think there's scope probably for the government and private sector agencies to do more in this area. It's a separate, to some extent, it's a separate issue from quantitative easing, which is there more for macroeconomic purposes. This is a microeconomic initiative designed to get the wheels of the economy moving from a supply side point of view.
What's interesting is we saw Wanda say that it was going to get into the space, in the space of small business lending. Now its interest rates are extremely high, and what you're doing is a little bit different. But it sounds like, you know, for people who want access to capital for startups, that they have options on the table.
Absolutely, but remember, when you have options on the table, you've got to be credit worthy in order to get a loan in the first place. We're going to have much more softer terms because we'll give them a 5-year period to repay that, but also in that first early stage, maybe in the first year or so, when they have no ability to service that loan, we'll probably better give them a kind of a holiday.
I hope you're well capitalized, because it sounds like, you know, some future bailout waiting.
Actually, I was going to ask, what's your failure rate? What's the sort of failure rate you're pricing in?
I mean, I would imagine we're probably going to have 1 in 3 loans that are going to be difficult to recapture.
Right.
It could be as high as that. I think because we're going to allow people a much longer term to pay it, so until they're up and running, until they're generating cash, they are in a position to take a bit of a holiday where we can structure that loan accordingly. I think the key issue here is to get the economy moving and get young people out there, rather than be out of work, but to give them the opportunity to do something meaningful. Even if you look at Facebook, I bet you that cost less than $2,500 to start, because it was an idea and it was online. And what I'm hoping is that, like all these things, you'll have some that will do incredibly well, some will find it quite difficult, but the objective right now is to start as many businesses as we can. And remember, Britain has been described as a nation of shopkeepers, so let's encourage that whole spirit of enterprise.
All right, we'll leave it there. James Kahn, Chairman of the Startup Loans Fund. Thank you for joining us this morning.